Greetings, my scattered sisters and brothers in the Lord. Trust you know the Lord is with you wherever you find yourself scattered today, and that you know that his presence with you is more than enough for whatever you might face today. Well, we are getting back to 2 Peter. We're in chapter 1, and today our focus is verse 3. Verses 3 and 4 are one sentence, and they are very packed. Peter has a lot of thoughts that are compressed into just a few words here. And so it's probably going to take us 2 or 3 sessions to get through verses 3 and 4. So here's what Peter writes. His divine power has granted to us all things that pertain to life and godliness through the knowledge of him who called us to his own glory and excellence, by which he has granted to us his precious and very great promises, so that through them you may become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped from the corruption that is in the world because of sinful desire. Now that's verses 3 and 4. We're only going to tackle kind of the first main thought of verse 3. But as we do that, I want to take you back up to Peter's greeting. We looked at this about a week ago, verse 2. May grace and peace be multiplied to you in the knowledge of God and of Jesus our Lord. He comes back to that knowledge component in verse 3. His divine power is granted to us all things that pertain to life and godliness through the knowledge of him who called us to his own glory and excellence. So I think I'm kind of getting the importance of this knowledge. It's not simply a head knowledge. It's not information about. It's knowing Jesus, knowing the one who called us. And so I think about Peter and knowing Jesus firsthand, in the flesh, that Jesus was the one who called him. Peter didn't call Jesus, Jesus called him. And as Peter began to follow, he got to know Jesus better and better and better. And then when Jesus was crucified and resurrected and the Spirit given, Peter knew Jesus better and better and better. And so through that knowledge, we come to have this grace, this peace. But notice how Peter develops that through knowing the one who called us, we have been given by his divine power everything that's necessary, everything that pertains to life and godliness. And if I were to simplify it, I would say something along the lines of through knowing Jesus, we receive his divine power for life, for godliness, that his divine power provides us everything that we need, everything that pertains to life and to godliness. Now, maybe even condensing it more, I think I would say Jesus, through his divine power, provides us whatever it takes for life, whatever it takes for godliness, all things. And so I just think about life, and wow, life stretches us in so many different directions, from highs to lows and everything in between. And so sometimes life might seem like simply a routine. Well, good news, Jesus provides us through his divine power everything that's necessary, whatever it takes to live in the routine. Sometimes life just jars us. And it might be the news of a death. It might be the loss of a job. It might be some type of tragedy that we weren't expecting, or it might be something that we were fearful of and it happened. Through his divine power, knowing Jesus, Jesus gives us whatever it takes to deal with that. And then I think about the good things in life. And sometimes we get surprised by God's blessings. Sometimes it might be a promotion. Sometimes it might be a word of appreciation. But whatever comes our way, the best stuff of all, Jesus provides us through his divine power, whatever it takes to live in that moment. Now, for godliness, it's not just that we would live. It's not just that we would survive. It's not just that we would somehow, live well, but that we would live godly. Through his divine power, he provides us whatever it takes for life and for godliness, that we would be able to handle life in a way that's pleasing to God, handle life in a way, live life in a way that we actually reflect God's character, God's goodness, God's love, mercy, grace, goodness. And so, I don't know, that's just thrilling to me that through knowing Jesus better and better and better, what I discover is that through his divine power, his spirit, that he supplies me with whatever it takes to live well, to live godly. That no matter what life might throw at me, no matter whether it's a high or a low or the routine in between, that through his divine power, able to live and to live godly. Live life in such a way, make decisions in such a way that God is honored and that God is pleased with how we go about life. I think about Peter coming to know Jesus and how Jesus gave him everything he needed for life and for godliness. Jesus does that for you and me. And so wherever you find yourself scattered today, man, lean into knowing Jesus better and better and better. Because as you do, as I do, as we lean into knowing Jesus better and better, what we discover is that through his divine power, he gives us whatever it takes for life that day, this day, and not simply that we would survive the day or even thrive in the day, but that we would live godly throughout the day, pleasing to him. Have a great day. God bless.